Started here. What is it about Miller Homes Group that you value?
Family. We're an invitation-only office. You don't. We have a core of agents that you're not allowed to come to Miller Homes Group unless we invite you in the family. You have to be a good fit, not just a fix. There's nothing worse than hiring something that's just a fix for a problem or bringing somebody in, and then you realize they don't fit in with your dreams and your goals. Now, as one of the owners, my dreams and aspirations are different, but we like people who think like us. And that's who you're looking for to do business. I mean, it's just family. I mean, we're family. If somebody's sick or when we had a wedding, her daughter got married this weekend, and I officiated the ceremony.
Congratulations.
And it was family. And so we help each other. We do things like that, and we give back to the community. We do a lot of things. I don't take any fees for emceeing anything. I don't do anything like that. If somebody wants to pay me, I say donate it to a charity. So we want everybody to have a good time, and we want everybody to be a part of the family. And so we turn down agents every month that want to come here, and for one reason or another, they can't just say I don't want them because they beat them on a deal or something. Are they a good fit for us? Okay, I don't care if they're ruthless in business and they may be better than you at the business. That's a good trait. We can all learn by competition, but I want somebody that's ethical and that fits into the way we think.
Okay.
So
you would say that family is probably the single most important thing.
Absolutely.
As far as
Yeah.
Now, how do you plan to expand Miller Home Group over the next 5 years or 10 years?
Well, it's real interesting. We expanded this year. We opened a location in Longview. We'll open a location in Rockport probably in the next 60 days. Next year, we'll open 2 locations, most likely College Station and Beaumont, Port Arthur. And then we will open the next year, I'll open a location once a month. The goal is in the next 5 years to have 20 locations. I only want to make $5,000 a month net out of each location.
Okay.
So it only takes me 8 to 10 real estate agents in each office to make that. So if you think about that, we give back to the community, we profit share, we do all of these things with our employees and our agents and all this. $5,000 a month, everybody's, well, you could make more. No, that's an average. Some will make more, some will make less. Tyler will be doing all the infrastructure, so it'll be tough for it to make that, but Longview and all the others will make that. You add that to 20, it's $100,000 a month in income. So you have a little $1 million company right here in Texas.
There you go. Let's see here. All right, looking back, what do you think caused your success as far?
I was brought to Tyler with a major franchise chain. And I got up here and I drank the Kool-Aid and I bought into all the stuff. And then I began to examine, and I've been part of big corporate my whole life. I began to examine what we were getting from the franchise brand for the franchise fees and the associations and all we were doing. And they want to pay for training and they want you to do this. And as you begin to examine what you were getting, first of all, they wanted to say they were doing a lot for the community, but they really weren't. They would go out and find other people to sponsor things in the community, and then they would take credit for it, okay, because they facilitated getting them together. So, and then I got looking at the training that the agents were getting, okay, and as the training for the agents began to develop, it began to be repeated, and they began to, what was once free, now they were charging for, they just put a different name on it. So, and then I looked at the customer service. And so what we have, it's a real simple goal. We want you to have the best buying or selling experience in the business, period. That's it. That's what we want as Miller Homes Group. And so the greatest, it's the big why. And if you've ever listened to Simon Sinek, he talks about the golden circle. Everybody knows what we do. We sell real estate. A lot of people even know how we do it. But why we do it is what drives us.
Okay. Well, then, so that you would say that Keller, I'm sorry.
No, you say I was with Keller.
Okay, so with Keller, that's kind of what made you want to start your own venture was,
Absolutely. I learned an awful lot from them. Mm-hmm. I learned a great deal about how to do things, and I learned a great deal about how not to do things. Okay. And I'm thankful for them because they brought me to Tyler, and they exposed me to this market, and I don't want to ever leave.
Would you please describe a leader who has influenced you?
Mm-hmm. My father, for starters, very, very demanding leader. I grew up in athletics, Coach David Berkman, who came out of the University of Houston, coached me when I was in high school and things like that. I like to study leaders. I studied Steve Jobs, but I don't want to be as hard-headed as him at times. And then Simon Sinek, I've gone to a lot of his leadership concert things. But overall leaders, the hardest thing for me to learn as leaders is that a lot of times it's not popular. Okay, you have to do what's good for the greater good, and I've terminated a lot of people and done that. They're never happy about it, but invariably they do better, and the company does better once they're gone. And so, as far as great leaders, I would start with my dad. I would go on to baseball coaches, Johnny Oates. He coached me for 1 year, and then I would go on to people like David Berkman that coached me in high school. And then as far as corporate leaders, there's a guy by the name of Wayne Davis that ran a company that I worked for, and he was a real tough taskmaster. But the worst 4-letter word you could say was can't. If somebody ever said can't, and I've adopted that. There was no can't. You can say won't. I don't want to do it. Don't say I can't do it. All right? I don't want to do that. That's not something I'm going to do. But don't say can't. And so when we decided to introduce new products or do something as far as business, we don't look at I don't look at the pratfalls of what's going to happen if it fails or what's going to happen. I know that I'm going to go down a road and it's going to take many forks. But as long as I'm still moving towards the destination, the goal, I'm going to be fine.
Okay. So owning your own business can bring out the best in you, of course,
Oh,
as we've seen. Are there any weaknesses that you want to work on?
As far as
Like as far as within your leadership style.
I need to answer that.
Okay.
That's the hospital.
No problem.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Ms. Terry? Yes, ma'am. I'll go back and come down. It'll be a little while, but I'll get it right. Okay. All right. I'll go see you. Thank you. Bye-bye. My mom's in the hospital, so I got to go pick up some glasses for her. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Say again.
So owning your business can bring out the best in you. Okay.
Mhm.
Are there any weaknesses in your leadership style that you wish you could work on?
Yeah, and here's the deal. I quit working on a lot of my weaknesses. I hire people to do that. I'm very blessed to have people that fulfill my weaknesses. I'm very good at plowing a field, of getting it ready, of being the guy who thinks about what the plan ought to be and all that. And I'm very good at starting to implement it. But somebody's got to come along behind me and clean up. All right? If I get bogged down in the details, I don't move forward. It's like the tractor getting stuck in the field. So what I've done is I've learned over the years, I grew up in a generation where it said, well, you always have to work on your weaknesses. Well, I believe you have to manage your weaknesses. So I manage my weaknesses. I can go on and print a check on the computer and I can go in and do that stuff. I am the worst at it. But if something were to happen and Stephanie and Susie were to go down, I could handle it for a day or two till one of them got back up. Okay? So that's where we're at. I'm very weak at putting in the structural integrity, okay? But they're very good at it. And I tell them what I need the end product to do, they go get it done.
Let's see here. At what point in your career did you realize that people viewed you as a leader?
I was in my 30s, and I was working in businesses that needed something, that were void of leadership, and it always things seem to be falling through the cracks. And I seem to be the guy, in order to make a living, had to pick them up. And so then all of a sudden everybody's coming to me and saying, Terry, what do we do here? What do we do here? Well, here's what I did. And the next thing you know, you run the company. I enjoy being a leader. I'm nobody's boss. And if anybody ever introduces me as a boss, I say, no, we work together. I don't want to be that. All right. I want to be someone who, as a leader, people share the vision, and that's when we have people here that share my vision, and those are the type of things. But it was in my 30s. I mean, I would drudge along and do some things, and then all of a sudden, you're working with a company that somebody was a real big visionary, but it was just total chaos, and so somebody had to pick up the pieces and move forward in order for the company to make money. And so that's when I started getting involved in that.
Well, were you always a leader, or did it something you kind of developed over time?
Yeah, I kind of, I was captain of a baseball team, did this and did that, but I didn't call it leadership then. I just, okay, well, I was a guy that wanted to be batting when the game was on the line. I wanted, that type of deal. So my dad always said that I had those habits. So, I guess so. I didn't start recognizing it until I was in my 30s.
Mm-hmm. So, how do you stay inspired? I mean, in all aspects.
Man, I'm 54 years old. I get up every day and I see young people like you guys that get up and y'all are exploiting your talents. And I go see these bands, and all these young people are out there. They're living their dream. They're putting their way through school. They're playing music. They're doing this. I see so many negative things in this world. But then I see so much positive coming from generations, okay? I believe between my generation and you guys, y'all are in your 20s, and in your generation, there's a void, okay? I think that you guys are bringing back the work ethic that the 60-year-olds have. So, but you're only gonna bring that work ethic to the party if it's something you guys enjoy.
Absolutely.
And so I get up every day seeing people living their dream, doing what they want. Your goal is not to work at a factory at General Motors. Your goal is to either own the factory or design the car, and you're going to figure out how to make it happen.
That's true.
And so those are great things. While on the same token, there are guys that wake up every day and wish they were working next to the factory that their dad in Detroit. But there's a place for all of that. But I get up every day, and while all the negatives out there, I see an enormous amount of positive coming up in the world, and I see it. I just get inspired. I mean, the brain. And you guys know this. I mean, you got a computer here. I guess you're recording me on it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. You have a computer here. You would never knowingly put a virus on that computer.
Oh, no.
Not intentionally.
But every day in America, our brain is infinitely more powerful than that computer. But every day we put a virus in it. We have the opportunity to choose good things or bad things. I love watching comedy. I love watching history. I love watching young people out playing music. I love live music. You know this of any kind. So I try to knowingly not put a virus in my head every day.
Right.
I wouldn't do it on my computer. Well, this is more powerful than the computer. Well, in theory, mine may not. Y'all's are. But, and that's what I coach people. I say, look, why would you allow that to be in your head?
Mm-hmm.
So you just get up every day and you say, I have a choice. Positive or negative? Boy, I ain't doing negative.
I hear that. All right, last question for you.
Sure.
Considering your entire career as a real estate broker, can you recall a time when you felt most involved or most excited about your involvement within your organization? And what made it so exciting?
Starting this company a year ago, February, we finally realized and made the plunge. I was not nervous. I'm not the kind that gets nervous. I believe if you're nervous, you miss the excitement. Mm-hmm. And it was, I felt more connected and more involved than I ever have, because when I said I'm going to go do it, I had 15 people say, we're going with you.
That's awesome.
And you look up and go, wow. So, and I get to do what I want every day for a living. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had a successful radio show. We've got 2 TV shows. I have a real estate company that we'll have 20 locations in the next 5 years. And when you look at that, and I get to live in a part of Texas where I want to live. I don't want to live in Dallas or Houston anymore. I'm sorry.
Right.
Just don't. Okay, that's y'all's generation.
No.
But but with everything going on in America today, I can do anything I want to do from right here in Tyler, Texas.
Absolutely.
And so the excitement of opening this company and developing a business plan that capitalizes and celebrates small to medium-sized markets, and realizing that I can make a nice living and build something for my family and the future families that are involved in Miller Homes Group excites me, because I don't have to go to Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Austin. There's a lot of money and a lot of communities to be served and helped that are small, mm-hmm. and a lot more rewarding.
Absolutely.
Yeah, more personal.
Yeah.
That's it. The interaction.
Relationship with them.
Yeah, it just works great. So that's it.
Cool deal. I think that's all we got. Should be plenty for us, I think. Huh?
Anything else, you're welcome. Just call me.
Okay.
We'll give you whatever you guys want.
Awesome.
And have fun. Hope you get a good grade.
With that interview, I think we should do
Yeah,
really
some
well.
good stuff.
You did good.
It's
You got
all
a
your
great
content that makes it.
Yeah, you got a great interview. So, but I tell you what, we're setting